why do people keep saying there's no good parts and accessories for the Bintelli Beyond cart? There's all kinds of stuff that you can get. Most of it just fits the club car precedent or maybe an ezgo, but most of it's a club car precedent, let's be honest.
Does this look right?
So today I've got a 10 LOL steering wheel. It's a pretty nice wheel. It's got like soft plastic or like a rubbery kind of a grip to it. It kind of squishes just a little bit. It's pretty nice. And then this is more of a hard plastic. It's got a nice flat bottom wheel to it, kind of, sporty, as if you're going to be like, hitting the slaloms on this thing. Right. To go along with that is a blue painted steering collar. I'm gonna swap that out for the black one that's on the cart, just to go with the wheel and keep with the blue theme of everything. And they're pretty close. I'm not sure how well you can see that. They're pretty close in color, and it's very close on the cart's color also. Enough that nobody's gonna realize that you've got like a baby blue next to a navy blue or something silly like that. They're pretty close to the same blues. And I've got a couple of different accessory handles here because for whatever reason, Bintelli doesn't put a handle on the driver's side, and I'm a Jeeper kind of guy, so I like to have Jeep accessories. So these are some of the, we'll call them lesser expensive handles that you can put on. You may need to look at some of these where they have the strap. It'll have an extra piece that hooks 2 or 3 of these straps together. Those aren't going to fit very well in the Bintelli carts. Those are meant for the larger bars to go around the like the Wrangler roll cages. So probably want to look for something more like this with just a couple single straps. I'm going to do a test fitting just to see how much these things slide back and forth, because there's no rubber on here to hold them still, or maybe a pool noodle. Let me see if I can. Let me run down to Lowe's and grab a pool noodle, and I'll try it without the noodle, and then we'll get a noodle and see how well that kind of helps, because that'd be a very similar material to the bar wraps that are on the roll cages of the Wranglers. So this one here is going to be the blue paracord. It's got black and blue there, and then blue with black on that side. And then this is more of the hard plastic, hard rubber or soft plastic. I don't know which way you want to go with that. But it's got a nice, it's honestly not that uncomfortable to use. So I'm going to throw both of these up and just see which one I like better. And we'll say keep the one that I like the most. And of course, each of these comes to color match your cart. If you have a blue cart, this blue here will match the hydro blue really well, but the navy blue might be a little bit darker and dustier looking than this brighter blue that we have here. But it also comes in yellow, orange, red, black, of course. Just go ahead and click on the link in the description and you'll see the list of colors that it has available. I like mine to color match my cart. Everything to be that nice bright blue. So the first thing I'm gonna do is hop up here on the driver's side, and I'm gonna do just the plain black. I was really hoping that these would come back in stock in the blue color that I have here, but I've watched it for about a week. It still hasn't come back. But I might, if I decide that I like these and I want the blue ones to match the cart, I may go ahead and buy some of those too. And these are very inexpensive. So let's go ahead and hook this thing up and see just how slippery slidey it is on here, and if we might need something else to just kind of grab onto the rail. Okay, so I have this on here about as tight as it'll go, and it definitely does slide around a lot, but I gotta say that's pretty strong. So as far as strength, we're good. But as far as, I'm not sure I'd want to be riding down the road, hanging onto this thing, standing on the side of my cart, because that's something that I do. And then have this thing slide on me. That would not be safe. I'm not safe though. So let's go ahead and try the other one out and see if it's any better, or if it's somehow worse. Okay, and here is the blue color, and like I said, it's pretty close. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera. To my eye, under these fluorescent lights, it's very close. I mean, I'm not sure you're gonna get any closer than this. So let's go ahead and slap this thing around here and see what it looks like and how slidey it is. Now, I've gotten this one to be just slightly tighter than the harder plastic one, but it's still extra slidey, and kind of what I was hoping to avoid was the way that these kind of collapse in around your hand. I'm not sure if you can kind of see how there's nothing to keep them sturdy. Let me put the other one back on, just so they have side-by-side comparison. Okay, so here are the two handles side by side. Let's see if I can get you a better angle. Here are the two different handles side by side, and you can see the small size difference in them. But like I said, this one is going to have that hard plastic, like it's a very hard plastic piece inside of here that there's like a rubber shell that goes over the strap, and so inside there's that hard plastic thing that helps hold its shape. This doesn't have that, so in addition to sliding, this one will also kind of collapse in around your hand, which is not exactly what I want to be happening. So let's see what I can do to improve this a little bit. Maybe put a pool noodle on here. Let me run to Lowe's. Let me grab a pool noodle. One pool noodle coming right up. There we go. So that's as close as I could get for the blue color. So hopefully that won't be too terribly unsightly of a different blue, because I just said earlier something about a baby blue next to a navy blue and how it would look silly. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and trim this off just a little bit and see just what we need to do here to then trim, slice, and put that around there. This should work. We're gonna leave a little bit of a gap on one side and the other. So let's trim it off about here. Then give it a nice little fillet. And we'll just loop it around right up here. Hey, that's not bad. So this is just a standard sized pool noodle. And it says it's a noodle. I was hoping it would have like a width to it, but it's not the jumbo noodle. It's just your old school noodle size. And when it's wrapped around, there is just like a small gap right here. But when you rotate that around, shouldn't be able to see it. And that should allow you to get it much tighter on there too. Really snug it up. But just know that it can be looped back around, and you can trim it off then and keep it all nice and neat and tidy. But that definitely keeps it from moving. Now, so now that we know what this one looks like, let's just go ahead and take this off so we can test out the other one. And I'm just gonna recycle this strap here, or not the strap, the noodle. Recycle this noodle and just tighten it down real good. Yep, again, that is good and tight on there. That definitely does not want to move. But to be honest with you, this is just, maybe it's just my personal feelings here on this, but this kind of feels flimsier. I mean, this is nice and meaty and chunky, and yeah, you can get a nice good grip on this, but I don't know how much I trust those. Okay, so I made it about as wide as I could with this, and it's got a nice little drop, but there's something about, I don't know, that right there is gonna be the weak point in this. That square stitching that they have at the top, I don't know how much faith or confidence I have in that. And for some reason, just with this one being more of a, I wouldn't want to call it like a tube, but yeah, it's a tube. So where they've put that plastic piece inside, you've got 2 layers of fabric in here, and it really beefs it up and makes it just, it feels stronger. This right here, you can feel that this is only a single layer of nylon strapping, where the black ones here with the harder rubber, this is definitely thicker material. You've got, it's like 2-ply paper towel versus a single-ply paper towel. You know, how many plies of paper do you use? But, so you got single right here and double right here, and then the tube shape of it should probably also make it a bit stronger as well. So just something to keep in mind with these. And I'll probably go ahead and keep all of these just for backups and whatnots, and maybe other projects in the future. But I think my favorite is gonna be the mix of the blue strap with the hard plastic. So basically this black one here, but in blue. So I'm gonna wait for these to get back in stock, and then I'm gonna switch mine out for the blue. But I'm gonna hold on to the black as extras, we'll call them, because I can come back over here. I'm not sure how well you can see, but and put, like, say, an extra strap centered in the back over here as an additional strap. You could always put a strap right up here in the center of your cart in case you need something extra to hang on to. And these straps, you can just wrap these things around whatever you want, wherever you want. And as I'm just kind of thinking around the cart, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, we're gonna call it a thin plastic springy handle. And replace it with one of these. Just put the little noodle around there, replace it here. You could also put a strap right up here in the center. You could put a strap back here on this handrail if you needed just like an extra strap somewhere. You could probably even stick one horizontally. I mean, depending on how much you don't like or don't dislike those pool noodles over there, but I mean, depending on how you feel about having a pool noodle right there with a strap going around it, I mean, you could have all kinds of additional hand straps pretty much anywhere you wanted them using this little setup here. So let's move on to something more exciting. Steering wheels. So to replace the steering wheel, we're gonna have to first take this thing off. Make sure you use a screwdriver and never over torque or mess with anything like that. My cart has Phillips head screws. Some of the other carts have like Allen head screws. I think that's what those came with, was Allen heads. So let's pull this thing off, see what it looks like. Most importantly, see what kind of connection this collar has to see if the one I bought was the right one. So the next thing that I'm looking at is a large nut, and we've got a couple of, looks like Allen screws in there. So let me see what it takes to get this thing off, and I'm not sure what those do, because the new one I don't think has that. So let's really hope that I bought the right one. So this looks like it's a 3/4 inch right here. Let's see what it takes to get this thing out. Oh. Well, that wasn't much. Okay, so I was able to use an H4. That just pulled these two little hex head screws out, and they came out pretty easy. And now I see that this thing spins pretty freely. It goes up and down. So I should just be able to kind of give that a little pop up, and you can see where the, maybe you can see, depending on the reflection there, but how the screws just kind of line up right there, and holds that collar onto this little centerpiece. So let's go ahead and pop this thing up and see what it's going to take to replace that, because that does not look like a standard steering that I've seen before on other carts. Whew, there we go. Got it. So yeah, there's some kind of a spline on here, and I believe, there's a nice little dust cover, but I believe that is not splined. I may need to find a new collar. Let me take a look at these two, see if there's any way that they're interchangeable at all. So this is one of those round hole turns into the hex hole, and this is splined. So let me take a look and see if there's a splined version of this. I don't think I want to risk my steering to the wrong part. I mean, it kind of works, but that's not what you want for steering. You want it to work, not to, yeah, it kind of works. But let's be honest, once that thing actually does get fixed up, that is going to look really nice. So it looks like the one that I ordered was for the Club Car Precedent, and so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and take this piece right here off, about that easily, and you'll see that it's got that style of an adapter, and it says CP on it for Club Car Precedent, and I'm going to get one that says CC for Club Car DS, and we're going to swap these out, and let me just take this thing off, return it, and I'll come back to this in just a couple days. For you, it'll just be a matter of minutes, but I'm going to move on to the next thing. Now, if your cart is anything like mine, you come around to the back here, and you've got to reach in and kind of grab onto something and lift, and there's no straps to lift this by. So that's where these straps are going to kind of come in handy, and I'm going to pop these out and show you how I'm going to install some straps so that we can just grab a strap instead of just kind of trying to figure your way out into here. And this package has 6 straps. I'm only going to be using 2, so might be able to get creative with some other uses for these straps. But again, I think the blue color matches it quite nicely. Let's take a look. So it looks like these are the number 4 hex head. Yep, does bring it out. And down it dropped. So there we go. The seat pad is now off. So let's go ahead and burn a hole in here. And you know what? Since this is just a couple more bolts, you know that plastic that they wrap the pad in? I'm gonna go ahead and get all that plastic removed at this point, just for fun. So it would appear that these two bolts that are now just holding this in are 10 millimeter. Yep. And honestly, I could just twist it out. There we go. Now we got that separated. And we can pull this plastic out. Which looks like it's just taped in here. But hey, looky there. All the rest of that new packaging out of there. That's an interesting design. Very interesting. Let's go ahead and get it put back together. And now the other fun part. We've got to burn a couple holes in here. And these are, I think, supposed to be motorcycle handle straps, so that you can wrap the handle around, or wrap this around the handle to then put a ratchet strap on a motorcycle handle. I just like the color of blue, and they're about, I think these are the 12-inch long ones. Looks about right. So let's see what we can do to burn some holes into the curled side, because one side is curled and one side, oops. One side is straight. I'm gonna want that hanging up just like that. So let's find the right spot and burn a hole in it. Probably just heat up a screwdriver with a torch, poke it through, make a nice little hole so it melts it, and put it in the screw. This is just another reason why I wish Harbor Freight would bring back their free screwdrivers. It's a great thing to use these for. Well, probably not a great thing to use these things for. Probably should never do this. Let's see here, unlock. There we go. Now let's just stop that right there. We're just gonna heat up a screwdriver. Oh, we need to measure this first. Let's measure this. So we want this to poke out right here. And you know, honestly, it kind of looks like right there is about the best spot. So just behind where they have this X, if you do get, you know, a similar strap to this, just right there on the other side of it, so that it curls around, doesn't leave too much bulk. So we'll just put it right there. Yeah, it looks like a good spot. Easy enough. One down. And go ahead and put this one up. We want it to hang over just the same way. Don't fall. Get this thing nice and hot. And just poke it right on through. And that should be a big enough hole. Might want to let that cool off for a minute. Let's get it put back together. This is fun to try and get lined up. Yeah, this may be a two-person job. All right, see how she looks. Maybe rotate this around here a little bit. There we go. And pull this one right around here. Oh, looky there. Can you see? I don't know if you can even see. There we go, now you should be able to see. So yeah, there's the loops here and here. And now you can easily reach and grab. Okay, now you can see how those loops just kind of hang up just a little bit, tuck away nicely, but you got a nice little blue strap to match your blue here. And I'll leave links in the description down below where you can get different colored straps. Well, I got some good news and some bad news. Got the new Club Car DS marked with the CC on the inside with the splines in a nice pretty blue color to go along with the splines here on the steering. Unfortunately, they are different sizes. Quite different sizes. So let's go ahead and see what else we can find in blue. Otherwise, I think I might just be keeping the black. Okay, now I'm really hoping the third time is the charm. So I've got a third version of this that is now marked with an E for ezgo. I measured the internal diameter and the diameter of the splines here. They appear to be correct. Let's just hope that they used an ezgo steering rack. Let's take it apart. And with as many times as I've done this now, let's see how easy it is to just pull this thing off. Nope, still gonna have to use the hammer. So just make sure that whenever you're beating on this, you put your nut back on. And sometimes I'll even put a socket over it just to further protect everything. Give it a little pull. And at this point, it's just a few taps. And it comes right off. And the moment of truth. Oh, this one here, that's how you can tell when north is up. There's two here and a bunch down here. There's only one by itself. That's the one that you're aiming for, right there. All right, so it looks like we're just gonna send this back, and that is crazy. It's still just a little bit too big. So I don't know what kind of steering rack they've been using on these, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw the black one back on, return this one here, and it looks like if you want a new blue collar, I'm just out of luck until I can find something else that's a little bit different. And even just eyeballing, like they look, I'm not sure how close you can see that on camera, they're really close in size, but just enough to make a difference to where you're gonna have to stick with the black. Well, we may have lost out on getting the blue adapter here to work, but there's still Yamaha to try, which is even smaller. So if I find a blue one of those, I'll be sure to test it out and try. But we went ahead and got the adapters, noodles in place up here, and got the grab handles here. Got them installed in the back, so that looks pretty good. And it's now much easier to grab onto this handle here and pull our little blue strappy to lift and lower the seat without slamming it. So what's some more accessories that I should try out next? What do you think? Drop them in the comments. If you have anything that you may have seen on Amazon, you can post a link and I'll take a look at it. I'll buy it, test it out, put it on, see how it works.